welcome everyone to this episode 3 of the SPX patient experience journey. It's like 6 episodes, so you are invited to know the next episodes that I will announce in the end of this session. And today we are basically explore how the physical environment in healthcare, beyond just walls, can deeply influence patient stress, recovery, and satisfaction. And before we dive into this topic that is really fascinating, let me just take a moment to think about our own experience in different environments. And I believe that, I think that most of you have spent some time in hospital, so please consider when the last time you were in hospital. Have you ever felt more relaxed in a cozy, well-designed space compared with a typical cold and sterile one? So that's basically the mode for this conversation. And I believe it's amazing how these places we live and work can really shape our feelings and experiences. And today we are lucky to have Marta Ribas with us, an expert in creating healthy spaces that not just only look good, but also make us feel good. And with over like 25 years of experience transforming work environments, Marta now integrates neuroscience, environment psychology, and bioconstruction. What a nice concept to create spaces that enhance the user experience and drive measurable outcomes. And it is very important because it's always guided by an evidence-based approach, and we look forward to understand more deeply this type of approach. And Marta, we are really excited to hear your insights, and I just want to start with some questions as we previously discussed. So you may start your presentation, but I will introduce the first question. And it has to do with the foundations and basically how does the physical design of healthcare environments can really influence patient stress and recovery. And maybe you can start by these more foundational aspects. Thank you, Marta.
Great. Thank you very much, Rui, for the presentation, for the invitation, and also to the whole shared patient experience community, because I think, this is a very important topic. And as we have shared already, this is something that sometimes in the healthcare environment is overlooked. So I think, I'm very pleased to be the first one. So I'm very happy about it. And today I would like to share with you a powerful idea about how physical environments are not like neutral spaces. They really directly shape the patient experience and recovery process. So I will start sharing my presentation to show you some images about these themes that are normally in the design field are better to share it with images. Okay, let me open. Yeah, okay, let's start then. So let me begin with a question. And Rui was asking us already, no? Like how would you feel if you could be recovering after surgery, no, in a place like this? Do you think could be comfortable for you on this patient experience journey? I'm sure it may check the boxes for functionality and cleanliness, but really, like, is it truly a healing environment? These are the questions we are asking ourselves, no, when we design and we approach spaces for healing. So patients are really not just biological bodies. We are emotional, we are sensory, we are psychological beings, no? At the end, and this is more complex than just to check one of the parts of our nature. So many healthcare, this is the reality, no? This is what we see many times when we go to healthcare environments or hospitals, clinics, residentials. So healthcare spaces still overlook this human dimension, no? Let's say this room, for instance, we could say that lacks warmth, privacy, natural light, and probably even has. Looking at the image, we could see that, like we could remember the smell, no, of a place like this. So, okay, we can see that we have to improve, no, these efficient strategies to humanize the patient experience. So let's back to history. We have Hippocrates, 400 before Christ, the father of medicine, that wrote Airs, Waters, and Places. It was a big event for the still modern medicine. And then Vitruvius, 100 years before Christ as well, the father of Western architectural theory. And all these masters were saying that the impact of air, water, location, no, orientation, the light, it was super important for us. No? Then back in the 80s, like going forward in the 80s, we have the WHO confirming the sick building syndrome as well, that recognize and understand that the genetic factors were almost 25% of the determinants of health, and the 75% was determinant for the habits and the environment where we were living. Then we have in 2005 the exposome concept, also really important to understand that all environmental exposures are affecting the health of the human being. Then we go to One Health today, like this is coming from WHO as well, that say that the human health, environmental health, and the animal health are interconnected. So this is really important to overlook, no? Like to see this wider perspective of how health is really really important in our environment. So here we have this, let's say, like a global picture of how the patient experience would be integrated in this model-based with the principles of One Health, the sick building syndrome, and the exposome concept. We see that the patient is connected to different dimensions, let's say, like the human dimensions of experience. Like there's the first one, the physical, then the psycho-emotional, and then the environmental. And all these layers are interconnected. We could say like the space as a healing agent would be like a passive caregiver, even if it's the natural environment, homes, hospitals, clinics, residential facilities, and then the active caregivers. We have the medical staff, family and friends, and also the patient itself. Now, how self-care, it's really important to activate this healing recovery process. So here we see as well on this building, no, and environments and natural environment, it's like a healthy space framework, let's say. We have many parameters, we have many factors that we can actually measure. And now with all the technology is in our favor, so we can track and measure all these aspects, no, like indoor air quality, thermal comfort, lighting, comfort, acoustics, electroclimate, together with the radiation exposure, security, accessibility, and connection with nature, no? So here we are measuring from physical to chemical and biological aspects, no, of these environments. And these are really, really important when there's this vulnerability of a person that is sick or ill. So this is taking more importance through these processes.
Marta, may I just interrupt you and ask you a question, because I'm really triggered with everything they were saying about these key elements. And from your perspective, what are basically the elements of hospital design that most shape the patient perception?
Sure. Well, all these aspects that you see now are physical, chemical, and biological, but there's also this is the like environmental, physical, chemical, biological, but then we have the psycho-emotional or cognitive and emotional aspects that we measure with neuroscience tools. So all these aspects are interconnected. I could make like a talk about all the scientific data that we have on every factor, let's say, because we have plenty of information actually, and later I will speak about the not the certifications, but also the systems and the strategies that we actually have to measure and track all this data. So this is also with real cases, no? So maybe if you think, Roy, that we go forward so we can see all this information more
Sure, because I mean, obviously that you may have your short list of elements that you consider more relevant when designing, when start to design these environments. And obviously to be interesting also to measure. Yes, of course. And the question may be, how can you effectively measure these environments in real settings? Because obviously it's different from the lab. So can you also address this?
Sure. And this is a really good question, because there's like we call normally in professional environments, we talk about key performance indicators, no, the famous KPIs. But on this field, we normally talk about health performance indicators. And these are the topics that we talk when we check, analyze, test a space. We normally start with the diagnosis. So we measure the quality of health of the environment. And we start with these points or factors, no, that I show you here in the presentation. But of course, there are many others. These are just the physical, chemical, and biological, but also there's the cognitive and emotional part that we measure with other tools. So yeah, let's talk about measuring, no, and track the productivity, the efficiency, and the building performance. And this is more like technological. And of course, we talk about, like when we talk about health disciplines that we follow and standards, we always use like the most recognized institutions that we have in our country, let's say, but there are like more global protocols that we use, but always we work on an evidence-based design approach. Also because these companies and organizations are the ones who are leading these investigations. So we are constantly like studying and being up to date to the latest investigations and studies. So this is for us really important. And we have many certifications like Fitwell, Reset, then there are like the LEED BREEAM in terms of sustainability and efficiency, energy efficiency. But also we have like different systems or smart building systems like BEAM and like in terms of also energy efficiency, lighting, circadian rhythms, systems. Like there are plenty of tools that we can use when we design like a space like this. Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of like standards, they are probably providing some guidance for promoters, for institutions that would like to start their project. So imagining that you are building a new hospital, is it really mandatory to follow these guidelines, or what do you find in practice?
Well, it's not mandatory. Of course, the normative that you have in healthcare, it's like imperative, but these are all recommendations. And of course, many of the, maybe there's the real estate field, no? Like how to value and increase the value of your buildings and the trust of your patients on your institutions. All these certifications, of course, are really good for marketing purposes and for promoting your services. So, but these are like recommendations, also because every country has different, different like thresholds. How do you call it?
Thresholds and standards. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And standards. So every country has its own way. For example, in Europe, we have, like in the European Commission, we have some rules that we have to follow. Maybe in America, it's completely different. So this is why these are just recommendations, because
it's great.
Yeah.
And we need to move forward and maybe now trying to understand the impact, because obviously if we design the system accordingly to these best or good practices, then we need to start measuring and what to be like the impact that you expect in this kind of projects. What impact do these factors have on patient recovery, healing, and experience? So it's basically what we would like to understand.
Sure. In fact, I have prepared like 2 slides about 2 factors that we really know, like we started when also related to what Hippocrates and Vitruvius were explaining us like 2,000 years ago, no? That the quality of the air that we breathe every day and the quality of the light that we where we are exposed to, like, are really important for our human behavior. So this is a real case, of 2 factors that I have been collaborating with some of my partners. This is in terms of indoor air quality. And this is like a device that is implemented in any building with continuous monitoring and analysis of air quality. And they have measured already like how this way of measuring and tracking the indoor air quality can reduce employee fatigue and health issues, have fewer sick leaves, improvement in cognitive performance, and also in terms of energy efficiency. No, we know now that from this concept of One Health, no, that our health is interconnected with this impact that we create in the planet, right? So, and in terms of regulations and certifications, of course, these practices can increase our building's value and prestige, no, with accredited tools to create some trust and engagement with our patients. And this is another real case in terms of related to the lighting comfort. And this was made in a hospital in Chile. We could measure like a +2 hours average increase in deep sleep, like minus 30% of incidence on the delirium of this person. Then some biological improvements, like the circadian parameters, like a plus 40% increase in nighttime melatonin levels. So this is already measured with real people, with real cases, in real buildings, right? So this for us is really important, like have real cases. And then, of course, like reduction in post-ECU depression symptoms, improvement in memory and attention test performance. So for me, this is like real proofs and results that how can we improve our environments, healthcare environments, when we design these spaces.
Well, really nice, and I think we are really eager to understand this much more. But before ending this short session, I think I would like just to ask you one more question before leaving the floor to the audience, because they can also ask some questions. And the final will be about the trends. So what are basically the trends that you foresee in healthcare design that will basically shape the future of patient experience?
Okay, yes. I'm happy that you asked this, because also it's something that as a designer and I could say like researcher nowadays, because I can stop studying and analyzing what's trending on this field. I really like seeing what's going on the market. And for me, the first one would say like create more smart and humanized healing environments. Of course, not overlooking this psychological and emotional part of the human dimensions, because, okay, we love technology. The technology is helping us to make all the processes quicker and more accurate. But of course, we cannot forget about our human needs. And this is also cognitively and emotionally. So having these real-time monitoring technologies combined with more human environments, for me, it's like a key point. Then we all know that care is becoming more decentralized because of hospitals are not having the resources and the space to have more people in these environments. And also we have more old people in our society, no? So with we see like a rise of a hospital at home or home-based care models more and more. Also on the private area, let's say. I have had like 2 calls this week precisely about people and companies that want to integrate this approach, like this holistic approach of health recovery and health patient experience approach on new private companies that are taking care this trend, let's say. Then we have like a clear hybridization between healthcare and hospitality. We see more and more hospitals adopting these principles to create more welcoming and comfortable spaces, so they can increase also the price of their services for the private area. And of course, in fact, I had a talk with someone of a hospital that she was saying for the public health is more efficient to take one person with a physical problem to have preventive medicine than having operations after sickness, no? So it's a real trend, and I think it's really important also to see the medical tourism that is growing like really, really big. And the last one, the preventive medicine and longevity design, that is connected to this hybridization between healthcare and hospitality. So this transformation on healthcare from pathogenesis to salutogenesis, no? So we we prefer to promote health in a more preventive way than having hospitals full, not treating for all these problems that we have in our society. So I hope this help.
Yes, I mean, it's super, super interesting, and thank you so much for sharing. And so we will have some time now for our audience. If you have some questions, please just jump in. You can also use the chat. I don't know if you have already some. Let's see.
If anybody wants to share their experiences, their real cases on their hospitals.
Well, we have a question from Julio, and if you'd like to open your micro, you can put the question directly to Marta.
Sure.
Otherwise, I can read his comment at least if you want.
Yes, please.
He's saying that all measures that improve the patient experience are good to implement, but in the current situation with the economic crisis that scares us every day and the financial difficulties in our daily lives, how can we put so many ideas into practice? Will there be any help from third parties that can support the services in this type of initiatives? Any ideas to share?
Yeah, sure. I always say that because I have to say that when I visit some hospitals to present as well all these strategies like smart design spaces, strategies that we are using for the private industry, let's say, normally all of them are telling me, Marta, the resources are really low. We have few people to work on this analysis. And I always say that we can, in terms of consulting, we can do many changes. Like sometimes the big thing is to change the way we do things, right? So I always say, like, start from the basics, start from the basic things that we know are working, and having like maybe someone in the team, within in-house in the team that is educating or studying these things or topics in order, when we need to make a change, like change a bulb of light, let's try for having the best one for the spaces more critical in hospitals. So we can create strategies. Of course, we know how to do it super well, but of course we need to start from little, step by step, and implementing and integrating this knowledge from the basis. So maybe education could be a good start from the people who's working in hospitals.
Oh, clearly, I think it's like a process that we have to take always. And I was really imagining from the perspective of a professional like you, because you work with a lot of hospitals, what were like the most common mistakes in this healthcare design that can eventually negatively impact the patient well-being that you have seen throughout your journey. Can you just pinpoint some?
Sure. I would say that the first things that we overlook are air, the quality of the air, starting from the cleaning products we use that normally are quite toxic. Because we normally in hospitals, they try to maintain the spaces really clean and sterile, but sometimes we are putting more toxics than what we avoid, So also lighting and of course connection with nature. So I've seen many rooms, also specifically, like technically speaking, there are some rooms that have to be out from natural light, but some others are not. And also one of I would say that one of the things that I see in many hospitals that are not working, and this can be improved easily, is the care of the caregivers.
Wow.
So
okay.
How hospitals are not training people to have a better patient experience. So medical staff, I think medical staff is one of the main things that we should start changing to improve this.
At least to redesign this.
And redesign,
it's a great takeaway.
Course.
It's a great takeaway for this session. And really, thank you so much for you, Marta, and for everyone for joining. And I think we have seen like a very interesting topic discussed, and these well-considered environments can really reduce stress and support healing and recovery, because we have seen from all the examples that you were giving us. And this reminds us that healthcare is not just about clinical practices, and there are a lot of issues that we have to address during our journey.
Can change quickly.
Absolutely. So again, thank you so much. But I would like also to call your attention for the next episode of this SPX patient experience journey on the 18th of June, and that will feature Kelly Rodriguez discussing patient-centered care. And this talk is already open for registration if you would like just to join us. And also don't forget that we will have our international colloquia to be happening in October in Luxembourg. And we have also the early bird registration available until the 5th of June. So again, and if you are also interested in catching up with us, let's just stay tuned with the events and have a great time. Thank you so much.